All right. What if my life were to change? And in a previous video a while ago, I talked about I went on my first through hike. It was around March 2012, a 6 or 7 day hike on Maui. We started, it was from Haleakala to 7 sacred pools on the island of Maui in the Hawaiian Islands, Pacific Ocean, United States of America, at least currently. And I was looking at, I bought some supplies for through hiking, like a bear canister, a water filtration system, a backpack. I already had a through hiking backpack for when I moved to South Africa, or not a through hiking backpack, it's just a big backpack. And I was looking at the Boundary Trail and ultimately did not do it, partially because I didn't know what to do with my car, partially because of the finances. And so I was like, okay, what if my life changed? And all of a sudden, my life changed in unanticipated ways. So stuff I didn't really see happening. And all of a sudden I could go on a through hike, or maybe 2 or 3. Where would I go? So I came up with 8 trails that sound interesting, and I've broken them into 3 different groupings. And from each grouping, I have to choose if my life changed in unanticipated ways, which one would I choose from each of the categories? Not saying I would do all 3, not saying I would even do one of them, but based on my knowledge of these trails today, which one would I choose? So the first grouping is a grouping of 4. It's the American Discovery Trail. So this is from Delaware, East Coast, United States of America, it's a state, to California, which is West Coast of the United States of America. It is, so coast to coast, it's the longest cross-country trail in the United States of America. It's 6,800 miles long, which is 10,944 kilometers. So if you ever want to walk 5 digits of kilometers, continuous footsteps in the United States of America, here you go. So that's the first one. The second one I have actually stepped foot on. This is the only of these 4 trails that I've actually stepped foot on / hiked on, but we didn't really do a hike. I was at Georgia Institute of Technology. I was on a graduate school visit, and we went out to a park, and it was part of the Appalachian Trail. So Appalachian Trail, this is East Coast. This is Georgia, the United States of America, state of Georgia to Maine. It is 2,200 miles and 3,540 kilometers. This is per Wikipedia. Am I looking this up on Google and stuff like that? These distances, or my personal experience. So this one, it's a beautiful trail based on what I saw, kind of thing. Up next is Continental Divide Trail. So this goes from the United States of America border in the state of New Mexico with the country of Mexico. So it goes from there north to the border between the United States of America, state Montana, and Canada. So, or you can do it the other way. These trails could be flipped, so it could be Delaware to California for the first one, or California to Delaware. Or in this case, it could be from Montana, Canada to New Mexico, Mexico. So there's this one. I have been to some of the places along the trail, but I have not been on the trail itself. So far as I'm aware. So that kind of thing. Versus at the time I went to the park with the Appalachian Trail, it was like, oh my gosh, we're on part of the Appalachian Trail. And so if I have been to the Continental Divide Trail, because I've been to Glacier National Park and stuff, if we did go on part of the trail, I was not aware of it at the time. And then there's the Pacific Crest Trail, which is actually kind of worth noting because I've lived in Washington State in California for over 25 years of my life, and somehow I have not managed to hike any portion of the Pacific Crest Trail. So there's well, there you go. But this one runs from the California-Mexico border to the Washington State-Canada border, or Canada-Washington State border to California, Mexico border. If I did this one, I would do it north-south. That's all I have to say about that one. So which of these 4 would I choose and why? Well, I would actually choose the American Discovery Trail because it has a reputation of being very long and very flat and very boring. And as someone who's gone bungee jumping in my life from the tallest bungee bridge in the world, and that's it for me, once and only once. If I would, like, just think about it. These trails are long. All of these trails are long. If I'm gonna do a long trail, it might as well be the longest. Like, if like there's an intent to possibly not do another one, I might as well do the longest one and the most boring one. Why? Because I know the end. If I make it to the other end, well, I know the story. It was long and boring, and there's a little bit of, like, I don't know. That's comforting in its own way. Okay, so that was the first group. Second group is 2. So this is Aurora, in, this is Aurora. This is in New Zealand. This one is 1,900 miles long and 3,000 kilometers. It's a relatively new long distance trail. And then the next one is Napali Coast. And this one is on the island of Kauai in Hawaii, United States of America, at least as of current. This one is very varied length. So when I did my through hike on Maui with some of my friends actually went to the Napali Coast the same week. It was like over spring break. And so they went to the Napali Coast, and Kauai is one of the rainiest places in the world. It even rivals the Amazon rainforest, or might get more rain than there. And they got rained out. So, because it's very steep cliffs and stuff, so it's actually very dangerous if it's raining. Not all trails are like that. Some people can continue on a trail if it's raining. This is very dangerous. And this is varied length. So it kind of depends on the people hiking, how long the length of the trail is. So between these two, I've heard wonderful things about the Napali Coast, but I would probably do this one. It'd be cool to hike a relatively new trail. And this is, while it's not new, I have hiked in Hawaii on Maui, and so there's a bit of, a lot of these trails have been around for decades. It'd be cool to go to a newer one. So even if my life did change unanticipatedly, and I did get to do this or something like that, it's still newer than the first batch. So this is newer. Okay. And then the last batch, I actually encountered one of these when, this was kind of when I was looking for my heritage travel trip to Ireland. I encountered one of these trails, and I was like, ooh, since this trail is in Ireland, what's another trail in Europe? So these last two are in Europe specifically. So the first one is Burren Way. This is in County Clare, Ireland. It's 71 miles long, 114 kilometers, so it's a baby trail. And I was actually looking at this as potentially, like, if I went to Ireland for like a month and a half or something, it'd be fun to do like a trail like this. Like if I had more money, but I was like, but my heritage travel trips are supposed to be 2 to 4 weeks. And so I was like, okay, well then maybe not this one, but like, you know, what if the rules changed? And then they didn't happen one every 1 to 2 years anyway. Like Ireland's on indefinite hold, so maybe it is a 6. No, that actually, okay, that's just, no. And on its own thing. Point being, I found this trail through my research for my Ireland heritage travel trip, which is now indefinitely on hold. So that's this one. And then the second one is Camino de Santiago, which is in Spain. This is a varied length trail. It's huge for pilgrimages. And there's like a bunch of like, it's huge for Christianity. I think there's a bunch of like Christian sites, like historic sites. It's a UNESCO historic site or something like that. So a bunch of Christian through hikers hike this trail. I am not Christian. I am Muslim. I am Islamic. So there's this is cool. I'm also not Spanish by ancestry. Yeah, I am Irish by ancestry. So on that grounds, they both sound very cool. Like, I love good rocks. So this is like geology, and this is like human history. So like Christians go, but other people go too. I like rocks. So I would choose the one with the Irish rocks. Yeah, the rocks of Ireland. There's more There we go. I would choose Burren Ray out of these two. Yeah, but that's my pick a trail through hiking. If my life changed in an unanticipated way and I could do any of these. Those are my picks of those 3 batches.